Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to MEA'S place. We are going forward in our devotional Bible reading in Nehemiah and starting on chapter 5. All right, and if you haven't already, press the like button and subscribe. And also leave down in your comments what is your favorite verse in the Bible. Let's get started here. Okay, chapter 5. No, excuse me, chapter 4. Let's go up to chapter 4. Excuse me. I'm talking on chapter 5 and we haven't read chapter 4 yet. Let's read chapter 4. Okay, let's see. Chapter 4. The wall defended against enemies. But it so happened when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall that he was furious and very indignant and mocked the Jews. And he spoke before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, "What are these feeble Jews doing? Will they fortify themselves? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they complete it in a day? Will they revive the stones from the heaps of rubbish, stones that are burned?" Now Tobiah the Amorite was beside him, and he said, "Whatever they build, if even a fox goes up on it, he will break down their stone wall. Hear, O our God, for we are despised. Turn their reproach on their own heads, and give them as plunder to a land of captivity. Do not cover their iniquity, and do not let their sin be blotted out from before you, for they have provoked you to anger before the builders." So we built the wall, and the entire wall was joined together up to half its height, for the people had a mind to work. Now it happened when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, the Amorites, and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were being restored and the gaps were beginning to be closed, that they became very angry, and all of them conspired together to come and attack Jerusalem and create confusion. Nevertheless, we made our prayer to our God, and because of them we set a watch against them day and night. Then Judah said, "The strength of the laborers in falling, and there is so much rubbish that we are not able to build the wall." And our adversaries said, "They will neither know nor see anything till we come into their midst and kill them and cause the work to cease." So it was when the Jews who dwelt near them came that they told us 10 times, "From whatever place you turn, they will be upon us." Therefore I positioned men behind the lower parts of the wall at the openings, and I set the people according to their families, with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And I looked and arose and said to the nobles, to the leaders, and to the rest of the people, Do not be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, great and awesome, and fight for your brethren, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses. Okay. And it happened when our enemies heard that it was known to us and that God had brought their plot to nothing, that all of us returned to the wall, everyone to his work. So it was from that time on that half of my servants worked at construction, while the other half held to the spears, the shields, the bows, and wore armor, and the leaders were behind all the house of Judah. Those who built on the wall and those who carried burdens loaded themselves so that with one hand they worked at construction and with the other held a weapon. Every one of the builders had his sword girded at his side as he built, and the one who sounded the trumpet was beside me. Then I said to the nobles, the rulers, and the rest of the people, the work is great and extensive, and we are separated far from one another on the wall. Wherever you hear the sound of the trumpet, rally to us there. Our God will fight for us. So we labored in the work, and half of the men held the spears from the daybreak until the stars appeared. At the same time I also said to the people, let each man and his servant stay at night in Jerusalem, that they may be our guard by night and a working party by day. So neither I, my brethren, my servants, nor the men of the guard who followed me took off our clothes, except that everyone took them off for washing. And let's go down to the study notes of the MacArthur Study Bible right here for chapter 4, and read there at the bottom. Let's see. Chapter 1. This section describes the intimidation and opposition to the project, the army of Samaria. While it is a possibility that his intentions were to provoke the military force to action, since that would have brought the Persian overlord down on Samaria swiftly, harassment and mockery, in verse 3, became the primary strategy to prevent the reconstruction of the wall. Nehemiah's dependence on his sovereign God is never more evident than in his prayer. The Ashdodites, added to the list of enemies already given, are the dwellers of Ashdod, one of the former Palestinian cities to the west of Jerusalem. Apparently, they came to the point where they were at least contemplating a full-scale attack on Jerusalem because of the rapid progress of the wall. The Jews exhibited a balance between faith in God and readiness, employing some of the wall builders as guards. So much rubbish, literally dust. The term refers to the rubble or ruins of the prior destruction, 586 BC, which they had to clear away before they could make significant progress on the rebuilding of the walls. Part of the strategy of the enemy correlation was to frighten and intimidate the Jews by making them think their army would soon surprise them with a massive force that would quickly engulf them. Positioned men, Nehemiah and the others had received word that that Sanballat had mustered the army of Samaria. In fact, God made sure the strategy was known by letting the nearby Jews know, so they would report it to Judah's leaders. Though vigilant, armed, and ready, Nehemiah and those he led consistently gave God the glory for their victories and construction successes. The threats cut the workforce in half, and even those who worked carried weapons in case of attack. Trumpet. Among other functions, trumpets were used to sound an alarm in the event of danger or to summon soldiers to battle. Nehemiah kept a trumpeter at his side always so that the alarm could be sounded immediately. His plan also included perpetual diligence. All right, and that gives us an idea of what is going on in chapter 4 of Nehemiah, and that's the end of our devotional reading in Nehemiah chapter 4 for today. I will leave a link in the description down below on the MacArthur Bible and also some prayer journals. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and let me know what your favorite verses of the Bible is. And until next time, God bless you in everything that you do.